Hello, everyone. Patriot5 here with Patriot6. Wednesday night, middle of the week. I think we got some good news. Bruce, we got some information about Bruce. We got some information about some other people. We're going to talk to the kids. We're going to say the pledge. We're going to play the music. And we're just going to see what we can do tonight to have as much fun as we can. But right now, there's no one on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the pledge and do the music and come back, and hopefully we'll have some people here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again.
I don't know what
Just my
Philadelphia
children
can do.
and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless, please bless you.
Yes, I'm proud to be an American. As you guys know, I say this every time I play the song, and I want to thank everybody for showing up. When I started to play the music and do the pledge, we had absolutely no one here. We do have some new people tonight. She's supposed to be on, and that's I have to look her name up here. Pardon me? Meredith is a friend of Rosemary's, who become friends with me and Ron on Facebook, on Messenger, and she's supposed to be on tonight. She seems like a very, very lovely young lady. I will also want to take the moment to talk about Sharon Becky's son, who is not feeling well. So keep prayers in for him. I knew something was wrong over the weekend because I was not receiving my daily emoji, good morning or good afternoon emoji from Sharon. And she finally got to me and told me that she's trying to stay away from social media too, because she just feels that what we're going through right now is a lot of mumbo jumbo. And, I think everybody's feeling like that. I see it in the shows. I'm not going to sit here and praise myself or praise Ron for the shows we've been doing. But since I went to this laptop, I feel that the shows are much, much more, you can see me better. It's much more clear. I know I can interact with you guys, seeing some things on the site. I see, Janet and Michael and David and Bill and Ron and Papa G. You're all here. Russ is here. Jeffrey's here. And I welcome each and every one of you. But, I've noticed our numbers are down drastically. And as I was talking to Ron tonight about it, I think a lot of people, hi, Karen, good to see you. As I was talking to Ron about it, I think there's people who's just getting tired. There is some good news from a lady, and I'm gonna kind of talk about her in a little bit. Something that happened last night that, it's amazing. This happens, but never once where it happens was anything on mainstream media news about it. And it's surprising that nothing what I'm going to talk about in a little bit was on mainstream media news. And I'm going to give you my opinion why to me it was surprising. But let's go in and talk about to the kids and that. And I'm doing the best I can, to be there for Jimmy, his dad, and his family. To console them, to tell them, and it seems like I must be going in the right path, because Jimmy's dad, he tells me, seems like almost every day he tells me, "Thanks, Ralph. I needed that kick in the rear." And guys, what they're going through, no family should have to go through it. But that's why we have our group. That's why we have our family here. That's why Renee was part of this family, because she knew that we would give them the love that they were going to need. But the timing, when someone, what I'm about to say, it's never a good time for anybody to lose a family member. But here, they lose Renee, and very shortly after that is Jimmy's birthday, of which we know Renee was there because she blew out the candle. But then after that, then it's their 16th wedding anniversary. Now you got the son's birthday coming up in November, the oldest son. I think his name is Larry. I may be wrong, guys. I deal with a lot of people, so if I get a name wrong here and there, please don't hold it against me. But I felt really bad because I was very busy yesterday, and I didn't get into Telegram much. I had a lot going, and when I finally got in there last night, it was somewhere around 10:30. I had like 8 messages from Jimmy's dad, and the last one was, "I won't bother you no more." Well, I want to announce here to the group, thank you, Michael, for telling them what they were. Michael's talking about the beds with the nurse. They know what they are, Michael. They're just playing doctor and nurse, I guess. But I try to explain to everybody, if you send me a message and I don't get back with you, before I go to bed at night, I check every social site I have for messages. So I try to get back with everybody. It may not be until 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but I do the best I can. I mean, I was talking to this one lady the other day, and she asked me a question, and I didn't see the question asked. I didn't go back into that social site until about 11:30 that night. And to say I got cussed out was a understatement. But that's okay. But Jimmy, the news that we're getting about the beds. And I know, Jimmy, you might be in a thing that, well, the beds didn't get here quick enough to save mommy. And I understand you feeling that way, my man. I do. But the one thing your mommy always wanted, before, your mommy would have gladly did what happened and passed away to make sure you got on these beds, to make sure you lived the greatest life. See, you, your two sisters, your brother, your dad, you always were first in your mommy's eyes. So just hold on to them and cherish the memories. I did convince them to celebrate her birthday. That was the other thing. Renee's birthday just happened also. Patriot 11, we're going to get the ranch. I'm hoping you're going to be around. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. It was funny because I always say this, and the other day I go on to Facebook and someone says, does anybody remember this show? And it was Wyatt Earp. Yeah, we only talk about it every week, 3 times a week. You know, and if I see one on, I watch it, you know, same way as we watch Gunsmoke. And when I come down to have lunch for Ron, when I'm not babysitting a little monkey, and I come down to watch, have lunch with him, you know, you should eat lunch around noon. But I try to have it around 1 to 1:15 or 12:30 to 12:45. So I'm here at 1 o'clock because from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock is Bonanza. And I don't like to miss Bonanza. You know, they also have the Rifleman on, and they have Gunsmoke on, and Gunsmoke was my dad's all-time favorite show. But I like Bonanza, and there's a reason to my madness for liking Bonanza, and it goes to one of our kids, one of my kids, who is my daughter, who our favorite song, the song that we danced, the daddy-daughter dance to at her wedding, was Bye Bye American Pie, The Day the Music Died by Don McLean. Well, if you get the full version of it, it's about 8.5 minutes, maybe 9 minutes. So I worked 12 hours a day, 3 days 1 week and 4 days the next. So I could be home with my kids during the week, so I could take them to school a lot. And on the days I would take my daughter to school and my son to school, they was going to different schools. My son was going to Herscher grade school, and my daughter was going to Reddick grade school. About a 10 to 12 mile discrepancy. Well, I would take my son to school first, and I'd say, do you want a donut? Do you want something to eat before we go to school? Nope, I'm fine. Because he had to go to school every day. He was going to go the whole year without missing 1 minute of school, and he made it because he wanted to be recognized. He wanted to be rewarded. His reward was he got a pencil with Herscher grade school on it. Talk about disappointed, yes, but he learned a lesson. But my daughter, on the other hand, I had it set up with their local radio station that we listened to in the morning. And every morning, on the days that I took, they would play Bye Bye American Pie with Don McLean. And sometimes when we got to the school to drop her off, the song wasn't over. And she said, we'll drive around the block. And I would. And the song still wasn't over. She said, we'll drive around the block again. And I would. And she was late for school a few times. So they told her, You can't be late for school anymore, Amber, or we're going to have to write you up. Well, my dad takes my brother to Hersher and then takes me, so we're late. But the trouble is we drive by the school so many times trying to listen to the rest of the song that they'd see us and they'd say, well, we know better than that. But they was good about it because they liked her. She was a great kid. She still is a great kid. But that being said, there would be some times where we'd be almost ready to the school and she'd say, you know, Dad, I think today is just a bonanza day. I said, okay, we'd head home. See, because back then we could get Bonanza like 5 and 6 episodes a day. And me and her would watch Bonanza and then she'd go play. We'd lay down in the afternoon and take a nap. And then the boy would come home and he was none for the wiser. My ex-wife always said, oh, I knew everything that was going on with you kids. And that, no, you didn't. But, you know, I didn't feel we was lying to my wife because, as I told the kids, what she doesn't know, you're not lying. You're not saying you're doing this. You're not. If she asks you, you got to tell her the truth. But she didn't know, so she never asked. And that might be a roundabout way, but it was our way. But I just wanted to tell that story because of the Wyatt Earp. Then we have Patriot Princess, our queen. As I told you, we also have 2 other princesses, but they're just my granddaughters. They're not our queen. We have a princess queen. Then we have princesses. But there we go. And we have Hunter, her brother. Our queen also is a tremendous ball player. Plus, she is so cute. She kind of reminds me of a young Jana, her grandma. I've never seen pictures of Jana, but you know, you can put pictures in your head. We have Boogie, Boogs, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo, John's grandchildren, who are waiting patiently, and John is waiting patiently for all of this to happen. And we all are, guys. Patriot Little Leona, who was named after my mom. I was just talking to her the other day when I went and put new flowers on her grave. And every time I go over there, I talk to her about little Leona and how she's growing like a weed. And, you know, I've even taken my phone and held my phone up to the tombstone and said, Mom, this is the little girl that was named after you. And you know what's funny? Because whenever I do something like that, I have a dream about my mom either that night or the next night. You know, we have our new patriots, our grown men in Linda's son and Mary Ann's son. And then we have Patriot Super Gymnast, who she's probably on her way home from gymnastics right now. Patriot 7, who he's going through that middle kid syndrome right now. He's going through that. The girls are getting to do this, and I'm not getting to do this. And he's a great kid, but he's going through that. If something don't go right, he's, you know what I mean? But he's a great boy. I would have took him fishing over the weekend, but they were supposed to go away, but then plans were changed because their dad had to be available for work. Patriot Small Hank, who I pick on him all the time. He's into the karate also, like Karate Kid, and he's into martial arts. So I beat his butt all the time and say, see, I'm into karate. And he never will. I keep telling him, you know why I always win when we go? And he said, because you're bigger than me. And I said, no, size has nothing to do with it. I win because I always look because I learned that on Karate Kid from Mr. Miyagi. Patriot Little Monkey, I babysat her today. And today was Brown Day. They have every week for the 3 days of school, they have a color. And if you have the colors, you're supposed to wear it. She only has 2 outfits. It's got brown in it. So I told her, I said, wear a pair of your old underwear. That'll have a little brown in them. This morning, her mom's getting her ready, and she says, we don't have nothing to wear brown today. She said, well, I want to wear this shirt. And it was a T-shirt I bought her that says, my grandpa is the greatest grandpa in the world. And she said, that's okay, Mommy. I'll wear this. She says, but where's my underwear I wore yesterday? And her mom says, well, they're in the dirty clothes. Why? She says, well, I'll just wear a pair of them, and then I'll have some brown. Her mom says, wear that. Did you hear that? And she says, my grandpa. But it's true. I mean, come on. She's 5. You know she's going to have a little skid mark. And then Patriot little Kira, I was just talking to Ron. They were gone for the weekend. I haven't seen her now. It's been over a week since I've seen her. But, you know, I just feel blessed because of all the children we have. And, you know, on the nights that we do shows, Jana's here now. So's Myrna. Good to see you, girls. Jeffrey, I think I already said hi to you. Bill, I think I said hi to you too. If I missed anybody, I'm not doing it on purpose, guys. It's just that I'm getting old. Yeah, I sounded like Dopey. You know, she says something and she laughs. What an idiot. But anyway.
She looks like the mean witch. Like a Wizard of Oz.
Bill, you watch the commercial. I can't do it. Boy, I tell you, I was on TikTok earlier today when I was babysitting a little monkey, and oh my goodness, them little videos, every other one was about her. And I mean, I always thought Dumb and Dumber, but when you watch anything that this lady's in, it's dumb and dumber. And if you watch another one, it's dumbest. And then if you watch another one, it's dumbass. And if you watch another, and I got to stop there, guys. By the way, this video that I'm showing tonight is not meant for children. They can watch it under the discrepancy of their mom, dad, legal guardians, grandparents, or whatever. The music played in tonight's show. Also, we have no legal rights to, but we allow people, we play it for people for entertainment purposes only. So, that pretty much concludes all the children, and, you know, we love you all. And for the children that I don't mention, the ones that we used to have on the show, we miss you. For all the children in the world, we always are saying prayers for everybody. But as I said at the beginning of the show, we have some news. I was just reading Linda. Linda was so happy I sent her a second message today, I guess. But Linda's son, guys, keep your prayers for Linda and her son, as should be coming home this weekend. And according to the neighbor, he should be able to make it. And we're going to talk a little bit about this. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on and how things are progressing in that. But trying to figure out what I want to pull up here. There we go. They're trying to bury us, the cabal is. But what they didn't understand, we're the seeds and we're growing in numbers. I like that. It doesn't say we're growing in numbers. It said they didn't realize we were the seeds. Well, what happens to seeds when you bury them? They grow. And I do believe we outnumber them tremendously now. The election of Kennedy back in the 60s will be the greatest thing that happened in the world since Christ was born. Kid Rock heads to North Carolina with millions in supplies. Taylor Swift, nowhere to be found. Well, she is. All you got to do is watch the Kansas City Thieves play football every week. If you watch the Kansas City Thieves play football every week, and I mean, I know how Kansas City, their football team, is being looked at this year because every game they win, they do so by so many calls going their way by the people in the pinstripes, and I just wanted to share something with you here. This is, in a football stadium, I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to show it, but in a football stadium, most stadiums, like the Thieves, would have their logo in the thing. The Bears, the Chicago Bears, they have the Bears in the end zone. Here's what Kansas City has in theirs. They're the Kansas City Refs. Boy, I tell you, if you want to see something, and we all have known for a long time that football is, I still root for the Bears. I still love the Bears, but, at some point you got to get realistic in life. But what I wanted to say here is, if you go on TikTok and you watch them little short videos, between Dopey constantly making an idiot of herself, Sleepy nowhere to be found, isn't it funny? They're supposed to be running the country. 365 days times 4 years is what, 1,400 and some days? And they're within less than 100 or whatever of being gone, or a little over 100. So over 1,300 days, they've had a chance. Well, what are you going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do? Well, that's a good question. Let me answer this question this way. And you never get an answer. And a high up ranking man in mainstream media news, a good person in it, was asking I don't know what you call her, press secretary or something, the one that answers all the questions. She's got that mop looking hairdo. She's a black lady. She's dumber than dumb. But the question was asked, let me get this straight. We have no money to help the victims from this last terrible, terrible storm. But yet, we can give them $750, of which they don't pay back. They lose their property, their houses if they're still standing, but their property. That don't sound very good. That don't sound like you're trying to help people. But yet, illegals, you're putting up and giving them cards, and you're doing this, and you're taking care of them. You're making sure they got transportation to the stores. You're making sure they got this, and you're giving them thousands and thousands of dollars. But they don't have to pay nothing back. But then the one that really gets us is, you just give $170 million to another country. Why didn't you give that to our country, to these people who need help desperately? And her response was, that concludes today, folks. And she just walks out. This is 3 times in the last 6 days that when someone asks her a question, she just walks out. You know why? Because she works for Sleepy and Dopey, and I think she's dummy. It's ridiculous. Now, I want to get into what Bruce had to say last night soon. I'm going to read what he had to say. But here's TNT says, Federal Reserve says, all is complete and done. Banks have everything they need to move forward. We shall see, says TNT Tony. Then there's a little video here for anybody who wants to go into our group page on Telegram. It's a little video on huge XRP news. And speaking of XRP, there's a guy that does shows like I do. He does them on a bigger level. He has more followers, but boy, he is just hell-bent on XRP is not gold back and never will be. So here's what me and Ron, Patriot6, Patriot5 have been discussing. I have told each and every one of you about XRP and what they're planning on doing, and we all know what the plans are for XRP. Does it matter to you if it's gold back? If what I heard happens, does it matter to you if it goes at least as high, if not higher, than what Bitcoin's highest ever mark was? And I know Bitcoin was in the 70,000, so I'm thinking, man, 70,000 for each one. Guys, remember, this is a currency, whatever you want to call it. This is one that you was able to buy when I first started telling you, like 3 for $1. It was like 33, 34 cents. Now, I have a good friend that I haven't talked to now for quite a while. He came into some things and he totally disappeared on us. Come into some money. And he totally disappeared. I guess he was a patriot until he got his own money. But this is a man that spent like $1.75 for each one. So right now, he bought a lot of them, several thousand, but he's behind the game. But do you think it's going to matter to him if he's behind the game now, if they go over 70,000 for each one? And as I talk to people, I don't know how many of you decided to take and buy, but just as I look and I say to myself, if you'd have just went out and bought when you could get 3 for $1, if you just went out and bought $10 worth, you'd have 30 of them, and 30 of them at 70,000 a piece, it's $2.1 million. $2.1 million. It's not go back, but you're going to get that money, and then you're going to put it into your account, and it's going to be in your quantum account that is backed by gold back. So what does it matter? But this individual is just on every day or every other day. He just comes out on Bookface. XRP is not gold back, and it never will be, because it can't be, according to him, because of the Constitution. And I'm thinking, if we're going back to the original Constitution, which everybody says we are, I have a hard time believing that the people that signed the original Constitution knew one dang thing about cryptocurrency. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I've asked him, what is this witch hunt? Why are you so adamant about this? How do you know, according to the Constitution, it can't be? Why would cryptocurrency be in the original Constitution that was signed many, many years ago? But I don't get an answer. Oh, well, don't need one. As I said, we have a new person on here tonight. I don't know if she is on, if she's chatting, but her name is Meredith. She's a friend of Rosemary. I was looking for something. I really wanted, Junior says game over. He also says, nobody was in the plane. Do your research. The hurricane was moving at 24.7 miles per hour, then comes to a dead stop over the Carolinas and sits there. Very interesting. How does that happen? How does something that's moving that fast, is that strong, all of a sudden just stop? Boom. I mean, go out and get in your car. Get it up to 24.7 miles an hour and hit the brakes and see if you just stop. No, you don't. It's going to take a little bit of time. I was sent something last night. I'm really looking for it, but there's Bruce's intel reading. Well, you know what? While I'm waiting to find out, let's see what Bruce has to say. We'll keep this puppy going. Bruce really didn't have no outstandingly new information last night, but intel only. We did get an update on where we are. What is important is this first Monday is Columbus Day. And we think the banks will be closed. And is this that 3-day weekend? Because remember, guys, we've talked for a long time that when this went, it was going to go on a 3-day weekend. But redemption centers might well be open. And I mentioned that because this morning we were advised that the Big G, which is the international scope, started this morning. And the Big N deals with the U.S., and we heard that it will be activated, implemented on Sunday the 13th. We will see anything on Sunday, maybe Monday or Tuesday. So wanted to give you that first. Now, what is included will be the asset-backed currency and should also contain information about the tax systems, and we should be getting those taxes back with the R&R and also interest on CC and bank loans and mortgages done through the banks, and also the trading on all those certificates we were made to have. All of that ends up, we will be getting the funds back, and for those of exchanging at the RC redemption centers, and those funds would already be in our QFS account. And WF is overseeing all the RC in the US and Canada is HSBC and Scotia banks and Mexico's Santander Bank. The rest of the world is still HSBC, maybe some others in other country. Now, as far as timing, we know people from these three sources saying we could be notified between Friday and Monday, the 14th. One source is saying anytime from the 9th to the 14th. I think it is a little premature to think tomorrow, but the most likely could be Friday and Saturday, and maybe on Sunday night or overnight, and then set our appointments on Monday or maybe Tuesday. So Bruce is saying he hopes we get it sooner, but they are watching to see what happens with Milton. But they do have some temporary structures in place and in places that were affected by the hurricane. But the hurricane goes through, and maybe if it is affected badly, they'll just let them catch up. Bondholders are going to be notified in their emails and availability when they would receive and total amount, and those emails come out anytime or early next week, but we won't know till they come out. It might be that we'll have a call Thursday. So pretty much that is all I wanted to say tonight. And then Bruce starts talking about Sue and her magical golden bundles and Bob and his magical hemorrhoid cream. And when I say the magic bundles, and I do what I did, when I say the magic hemorrhoid cream, that's just a joke up between Marianne and myself. Let me go back here now and see what else we have. Oh. I don't know if this is a video or if it's a read. I'll look into it. I think it's a read. On the special beds, get ready for the special beds exclusive Earth Alliance training, revealed spiritual awakening, energy manipulations, and healing secrets you must know. The Earth Alliance has confirmed the imminent arrival of the special beds, a technology that will revolutionize healthcare and transform human potential. These devices aren't just about physical hearing, they combined advanced technology with spiritual awakening to unlock hidden energies within you. Your role in the global initiative, this is not just about learning about how to operate a special bed. It's about becoming a part of something bigger than yourself. You'll be trained to manipulate energy fields, elevate consciousness, and heal on a profound level. As a spiritual counselor, you'll be the key in guiding others through this monumental shift. Training breakdown. The training covers everything from brainwave management to deep spiritual practices. You will learn to control energy flows in your body and the environment, becoming one with the special bed's energy field. Each level of training takes you deeper into the understanding of how to manipulate cosmic energies for healing. The Earth Alliance classes are structured to teach you the basics all the way to advanced techniques that includes interdimensional healing. This is not a regular training program. You'll be guided by higher dimensional entities, ensuring you're full prepared operate special beds and help humanity step into its evolutionary phase. Special beds technology. Special beds represent a pinnacle of healing tech. Quantum energy fields promote rapid cellular regeneration. Nanobots work on a cellular level to eliminate toxins and repair tissues, while comic brain and wave synchronizations ensure deep mental and spiritual healings. It's holistic healing at its finest, body, mind, and spirit working together. Only the chosen. This is not for everyone. The Earth Alliance is seeking for those who are ready to ascend. If you've been feeling that pull, that inner calling, this is it. Only those who prepared to fully embrace their role as spiritual guides will succeed. Your training will be rigorous, but the rewards will be monumental. This is your chance to be forefront of the worldwide transformation. Special beds promise a future where healing is instantaneous, where the barriers between the physical and spiritual break down. If you're ready to transcend the limits of human potential, the special beds and the Earth Alliance await. The time to act is now. Answer the call and be part of the new era of healing and transformation. I was talking to a gentleman last night. He lives right next door to my brother Ron, and he literally cannot sit up in a chair. He lays in a bed 24/7. He has to have someone come and take care of him. You know, he's got hookup to do all of his dailies, his dumping and his peeing, and he's literally, in a way, his death warmed over. And I was talking to him last night, and I said, we get talking about what's going to happen the 5th of next month. And for some reason, I have no clue why, he seems to support Dopey.
Because he watches the news.
And as Ron was saying, and I was going to elaborate on, because see, he lays and he has a laptop and he watches his news on mainstream media news. Well, Jay, what do you think? So I looked at him and I said, let me tell you one of the reasons you want the hat. Are you tired of laying in this bed? He said, I'll lay in this bed until I pass away. And I said, no, you won't. None of the hat wins. You'll be up, running, walking, doing whatever you want to do before the first of the year. Because as Kai Prince says, he is a perfect candidate to be one of the first ones on. He has no currency, but he is one that if someone said something to me, I would say him and his wife, who is stuck in a wheelchair and literally has to have a young girl come over. And I'm telling you, this woman that takes care of these people. She is definitely an angel sent from heaven, because to take care of them two people, they're my friends, but they give up on the real life a long time ago. She didn't give up. He just ate himself into oblivion because he didn't want to work. And he knew if he couldn't move, he can't work. Here's something. Ascension begins, lines are drawn, climax of the ages, third eye of the RA, all-seeing eye, CIA, occult, no more. Goodbye to those hyper vaccines that create demigods. If you only knew, you are all survivors of mankind. I was sent that and it said, good but short. I like short. I really wanted to talk about this one lady, and for some reason, I cannot find.
Ginger, you mean?
Yeah. Just give me a second, guys. Okay. Here's a lady. Her name is Ginger. And I received a message from Ron last night after I left his house. And he said, listen to this by Ginger. And Ginger has a lot of great information, but a lot of it she can't discuss. But she was allowed to discuss this, guys. Now, if you have not listened to Ginger, she's on our Telegram site, Patriots5 Forever.
Somebody puts her up there.
Huh?
Somebody puts her up there.
There's a lot of them. But the one that I listened to that really caught my attention, you can tell she's an elderly lady, but you can tell she's a very intelligent lady. But she was allowed to talk about this. And somewhere in the Carolinas, just yesterday, somewhere in the Carolinas, they caught and they captured the number one person. The number one. Think of back when Chicago was being run. Huh?
By Capone?
By Capone. Think of that. They finally caught him. They took him down. They caught the number one person in the world that's involved with the children and the missing. You understand? I can't say the word, but it starts with P. The number one person in the world they caught. Now, they've been chasing this man for 30 years, and they caught him. Part of it was because of the storm. And I'm going to get into this because this is amazing, guys. And I might get part of it wrong, but I'm going to do the best I can because I can't play it. But they caught this man. He's had 18 or 19 different facelifts in the last 30 years to try to stay ahead, and he did. But they caught him. But even more so, you can catch the top person. But that's just catching the top person. You know what I mean? That's just catching the top person. Because it's just like in a chicken pen. You might want to get rid of this rooster because he's a little bit too cocky. And you might catch him and you might, and throw him in the yard and let him dance around a little bit headless, as a chicken will do. But if you don't get the rest of his accomplices, another rooster is going to pop up. But they caught his top 41, what do you call them, generals or whatever. So they had the biggest bust in the history of the world. And it was all caused because of what they're going through out there. Now, we've been told stories that there being people being shot who's trying to bring stuff in. According to this, that was part of the plan. Because they wanted to keep the people, even though they was going through bad times, they wanted to keep the people away and unaware of what's going on. That was all part of the plan to catch this person. And it was also part of the plan to show how corrupt two people were that we may call Sleepy and Dopey. Just think of what that is. So I read it, and boy, I got right back to Ron, and I sent him a message, and I said, well, this was really good. Well, she had a couple more up there. There's one up there. Oh, she just thanks Jesus and thanks God. And I mean, she's crying, and it's you can't control your emotions if you listen to it. But she's got some other ones. She seems like a very, very well-versed. And I tell you guys, join our Telegram site and follow her. I don't know who's putting these up there, who come in contact with her, but thank you, whoever it was. And I thank Ronnie, Patriot6, for sending it to me and getting me, because, boy, I tell you, I was so happy. I was so wound up. I was so just hammered. You know.
You can find her on the social.
Pardon me?
Chosen one, too.
You can find her on the Chosen One, too, Ron says. I was just so immensely happy about this. So I got this idea, because I don't pay money for TV. If I watch something on TV, it's free, or I don't watch it. But we do streaming. And I really don't understand streaming, because my son, he's told me a little bit, but he leaves out the golden nugget in that. I know somehow it's coming from the internet and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But by streaming, we get all of the major networks for news. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, CNN. We get them all. Well, see, I love helping people. But as I was talking to this one girl today, and I says to her, I help people, but every day I take time for myself. The time is usually after I leave Ron's house at night. I go home, and maybe about 10:30, I might watch the TV. I might get on the internet and check some things out. But it's just me. I'm not involved with anything. I take that half an hour to an hour for myself, and then I'll go in, and that's when I got back with Jimmy's dad and answered his messages, and tried to console him and be there for him. And I must have did a good job, because he thanked me, told me he needed what I said. But I'm going to ABC and NBC, and Fox is starting to change, guys. Fox is seeing the light. They're seeing the light, but the rest of them, oh, they're terrible. ABC is the worst. ABC is sleeping with Dopey. They are. But nothing mentioned about this. Are you kidding me? And I get thinking, wow, this was brought on, and this was carried out by the hat. But the hat, in the eyes of the people whose eyes are closed, is not being run by the hat. It's being run by Sleepy and Dopey. This would have been their feather in their hat. Instead of getting a feather in their hat and having something to stand on as this thing is approaching on November 5th, instead of getting their feather, what they allowed was the hat to get the whole, when you see the Indians and they got their feather in their hair, No, but what the chief has a whole thing of feathers, and that's what they allowed the hat to do. They fumbled the ball. Now, if it was the Kansas City Chiefs, they would have fumbled the ball right into the referees, and the referees would have said no. Thank goodness they don't take care of that. But I do highly suggest that you get in to our Telegram site. And I'm not pushing the Telegram site, guys. I had someone, I think I got 61 members. And I had someone email me a week ago and said, why are you pushing your Telegram site? Why are you pushing your other sites? Why are you doing this? Are you trying to make money? Well, that person don't know me because I've never tried to make money on here. I'm trying to help people to where when people talk about, well, I got this contact and I got this reliable contact. Man, I look over here and I see David, who's constantly sending me something. Janet, I see Bill Woods, I see Michael, Myrna, Janet, Ron, Diane, Linda, Mary Ann, all of you guys, and many, 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 many more you guys are sending me. My job is easy. I just got to come over on here, smile, tell some stories, and do what you guys showed me what to do. You guys make it easy for me. Is everything that I report here true? No. But when I report it, I believe it to be true because I believe in you guys that much. There's other things. I've had people say, well, you don't read anything. I say, I got this one person that all they want to send me is stuff about underground and the children. I can't. Or they'll send me stuff about that stuff that happened in 2020 where they wanted to make us wear a mask. And I remember I started off and I wore it for a little bit. And I was in Walmart one day and I seen an old friend of mine and he didn't have his on. And I said, why ain't you got yours on? He says, why? They can't make us. I said, you're right. They can't. And I took it off and I have not put one on since. I went to the doctor. And they looked at, and Ronald can attest to this. I went to the doctor and they said, well, you can't see him unless you wear a mask back there. We've got him right here. I said, if I got to wear a mask, I'll see you later. And I was.
Hold one in your hand.
Huh?
Just hold one in your hand.
Yeah, they looked at me and Ron and they said, well, would you just hold one in your hand? Yeah, we can do that. It's unreal. And what's funny is because now when me and Ron go in and see this heart specialist, because we both see the same guy, but when we go in and see this heart specialist, he never wears a mask. Funny how things happen. Let's see what Judy's got to say, and then we'll call tonight a show. Restored Republic via the GCR update as of Wednesday, 9th of October, 2024, compiled by Judy Bidington, author of The 22 Personalities of Jenny Hill. Multiple personalities. EBS worldwide martial law. Intimate militias to be activated worldwide to keep us safe and secure. White hats and red hats declare war against FEMA and FBI in North Carolina due to proof that FEMA ordered their agents to, bang, bang down Hurricane Helene victims, the same Holocaust that FEMA agents performed in the 2023 man-made Maui fires. 3 man-made major hurricanes to hit Florida in the next 3 weeks. Lloyd Brunson, the highest court in the land, is a court of public opinion, and this means you be part of history. Click and sign your letter to the Supreme Court. The Fall of the Cabal, Part 10, The Return of the King. There, Judy note, there's proof that the government private contract agencies for disaster, FEMA, ordered their agents to, take down Helene victims. the White Hat Global Military Alliance was trying to do something about that. We're in a war against our own government and didn't even know it. Guys, right now, Judy is bringing a lot of stuff that I just do not feel comfortable reading. I suggest you guys go in and get Restored Republic, which we have it once again on Telegram. And I don't make a penny if you come and join. Even if our group goes up to 10,000, I don't make a penny. I don't want your money. But like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of the stuff that she's got. I've already talked about, and I'm not going to, but I talked about it in my words. I'm not going to read it in hers and take a chance of hurting our show. It's all about what's going on in the states that have the other stuff, and then possible timing since January 22nd, 2022. The U.S. has officially been under military occupancies and continuity of government on 18th October 2023. The U.S. Treasury said that they were bankrupt. On Tuesday, 1 October 2024. The hat announced that America's comeback begins right now. Tuesday, 8 October 2024, Wolverine, we're home. Just hold on for another day. Monday, 7th October 2024, Wolverine, a digital banking system in Iraq, has been spreading salaries for 3 days. This next Monday, October 14th, is Columbus Day, and we are thinking banks will be closed and that there will be a 3-day weekend, but RC might well be open. This morning, we were advised that the Big G, which is the international scope, started. I've already covered all this. So I'm going to call it a night, guys, and just thank each and every one of you for showing up. Okay, remember, I've been talking about the numbers 1 and 5. Right now, as I just said that, the time on this clock was 101.55. It's moved up now. So that's 2 1s and 2 5s. And we had exactly 111 viewers at that point with 51 thumbs up. I'm telling you, as I was talking to Ron, I had a great talk with Diane with 2 N's yesterday. When I say N's, they're N, like the letter N. Someone looked at me one day in a message, and I know they was messing with me. They said, do you say she has 2 N's in her name or 2 N's? Meaning, you know what that is. But it's good that people like to send me messages to have fun, because I love a good laugh. I love to smile. And I love each and every one of you, as Ron does. And we look forward to seeing you here on Friday night. Tomorrow night is Brucey, and hopefully he'll
with Mary
Ann and my special broadcast partner, Mary Ann. But for all of those who had birthdays, happy birthday, John. That's John Kennedy. For all of those who need prayer, you have our prayers. Sharon Becky's son is sick. Keep him in your prayers. Always keep the Moran family in your prayers, as long as everyone else. If we just pray for each and every one in the group every day, the numbers we have may be small, but we get a lot of prayers out. We love each and every one of you. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of tonight's show, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for putting such a great family together. We ask you to look after every child in the world, not just our children, Lord, but every child in the world. And don't allow us to rest until each and every one of them is safe with family, friends, and loved ones. As we come to you and talk to you and pray to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone. Love yous all.